You're watching KAVU 25 News Now weekends at 5:30.
Good evening and thank you for joining us. I'm Amaya Norman. A mass shooting in downtown Montgomery, Alabama left 2 people dead and a dozen others injured. Police said the incident happened at around 11:30 p.m. when 2 groups opened fire on each other in the middle of a crowd. A total of 14 people were shot. 2 of those victims died and the rest were injured. Police said of the injured, 3 people are left in threatening life conditions.
I am so angry that I'm holding on to my composure right now because this was not a typical mass shooting that people typically read about. This was 2 parties involved that were basically shooting at each other in the middle of a crowd.
So far, no arrests have been made, but some individuals are being interviewed. An investigation is ongoing. 4 young children shot near Angleton, 2 killed and 2 others rushed to the hospital. What investigators are saying about the woman who is now in custody. Here are the latest.
We need multiple ambulances.
4 young children shot near Angleton. The Brazoria County Sheriff's Office says it responded to a call near FM 521 and 288B, but law enforcement says it doesn't believe this is where the shooting happened.
We're doing first aid. We're doing everything we can.
A 13-year-old and 4-year-old were shot and killed, and 2 others, ages 8 and 9, were taken to the hospital via life flight, but are stable, according to the sheriff's office. Officials say a woman is in custody in connection with the shooting. The sheriff's office there claimed a home in their area is related to the scene, but they didn't give specific details. The Montgomery County Sheriff only said they assisted deputies with a residence located in the county. As far as getting more details on what happened, the Brazoria County Sheriff's Office tells ABC 13 it expects to have a news conference Sunday afternoon. Reporting in Angleton, Sarah Alshake, ABC 13 Eyewitness News.
Now let's go to Jacob Lozano with the first look at our forecast. Jacob, tell us how the weather is going to be looking like for this week. I hope we get some type of cool front coming through.
Actually, we're going to be talking about that in the full weather block. So we're actually watching something move down here later within the week. But let's talk about what's going on right now. We have a little bit of rain activity that had picked up a little bit more farther down south than expected there because of that mid-upper level low that is moving through the region there in Louisiana. But if we go and look at that, it's actually providing a little bit of a warm front there, as you can see that red area. But there are some stratocumulus clouds that have been picked up from the shower activity there from the rainfall that had occurred down in Corpus Christi, as we can see through the radar. And there it is popping up right there over the region for us. And so that's why it's a little bit cloudy outside. But we are watching for this frontal system to kind of help bring in some drier air. Not really going to bring some cold temperatures, but it'll bring those cool mornings back hopefully for next week. But that's something we're going to continue to watch. But here's the live look outside right there. You can see that cloud cover that had been built up from the shower activity down in Corpus. But we're going to be talking about the cool front coming up. Amaya?
Thank you, Jacob. A Texas woman's scary moment turns heartwarming. The familiar face she saw when firefighters rushed to save her home. Jesus Martinez has more on the unusual reunion.
What started as an ordinary call turned into something extraordinary Saturday morning.
And I was like, oh my God.
Sparks were coming off Felicia Polk's receptacle, so she called the 911.
There was some light haze when we pulled up.
And once everything was under control,
And we kept looking at each other.
Felicia noticed something she just couldn't ignore.
Oh, it's you. Like, I said, yeah, it's you too. And he was like,
that moment of recognition took them both back.
So she was by herself.
To a day months ago.
I didn't know if she had the means to change it or not, so we just lended her a hand.
When Lieutenant Hawley wasn't in uniform, but still answered a call for help by changing Felicia's tire.
Put the spare on, kind of give her some advice not to go too fast, get it changed out.
you don't meet people like that all the time.
After realizing how their paths had crossed before, the moment turned into something bigger. A photo captured what happened next.
It made me in tears. It made me in tears, yes.
The group standing together in prayer with firefighter Chris Snow right beside Felicia, offering a hug and a moment of comfort.
She called us her angels, and so I just felt compelled by the Holy Spirit to pray in the moment with her.
And they prayed over me and my family, my kids.
For Felicia and those firefighters, that prayer meant more than words could say.
Prayers to his special brother. He lost his newborn, and in a Facebook post, he put "Love like Susie Bell." That really helped motivate today's actions.
And Felicia, still holding on to her own loss, marking 5 years since her mom passed away.
They gave me hope. And you always want people to give you hope, no matter where we from or where we live, where we at, give you hope.
Sometimes it's not the fire itself that leaves the biggest mark.
Man, God is good.
It's who shows up to help.
He's good all the time. You just got to keep on pulling and keep on pushing.
Texans are seeing an increase in wages according to a report from ADP. The company found that job stayers in the state saw their pay increase 4.2% from last September to this year. However, that growth rate ranks 45 in the nation for wage growth. The report also found that the national average of wage growth was at 4.5% for people who stayed at their jobs. People who changed jobs saw their wages grow an average of 6.6%. And Victoria College is celebrating several milestones this year, including with some of their educational programs. 25 News Now reporter Trenton Whiting joins us now with a story of someone who been in the nursing school program for a long time. Trenton.
Yes, Amaya, I spoke with Dr. Joanne Settles, who has seen the growth of the nursing program as it hits 50 years of operation this year. Over 3,000 graduates have finished with their degree and moved on to be licensed nurses. And in Settles' mind, a little bit of care and tough love is what these young nurses need. Here's more. As Victoria College celebrates its 100th anniversary, the nursing program celebrates a milestone of its own. Dr. Joanne Settles saw it from its infancy.
It's been a place that has been a real home for me. I've been here with all of the existing presidents of Victoria College.
After over 3,000 graduates, the program is a featured part of the school, receiving recognition from registerednursing.com as the top nursing program in the state.
The best thing has always been able to see each student, each new group of students that comes is like a gift. Every semester I get a new gift. I get to open a box and see them sprout.
Settles has seen a lot on her journey alongside the program's growth, earning her master's in 1995 before deciding to go back to school for her doctorate after her husband's death.
Whenever there's anything that happens to anybody, we all pitch in and make it work. Just being here provides the energy, provides the stimulation and the encouragement from everybody else that's around me.
8 years and 2 bouts of Hodgkin's lymphoma later, not to mention a cancer diagnosis for her sister, and Settles earned her doctorate at 78 years old. She has shown the resilience she hopes her students carry throughout their careers.
They should be fairly competent to be able to finish out and do whatever. All the people who have come through maintain that level of expectation.
Trenton Whiting, KAVU-TV, 25 News Now.
The Victoria County Commissioner Court meets Monday, October 6 at 10 a.m. in the county courthouse. On the agenda, commissioners will discuss an agreement with the Sheriff's Office for the School Resource Officers Program in the Victoria and Bloomington School District. The court will also consider approval of a border crisis response resolutions. Court meetings are on the second floor of the courthouse at 115 North Bridge Street. And a quick update for those summoned for jury duty. The jury schedule for Monday, October 6 at 8:30 a.m. at the Victoria County Courthouse has been canceled. Officials say this session will not be rescheduled. And for more on today's news story, come to crossroadstoday.com. Don't forget to submit your birthday wishes. Carolina Estrain and Parker Cox will read them live on 25 News Now Sunrise. You can also submit a local military hero so we can recognize them. A new study finds feeling good may be just as important as staying fit. How emotional well-being could help you live longer. Up next.
Well, we still got some cloud cover over our region, but it was 93 for the high today. Could be worse, could be 101, it could be better. Look at that low, 49 back in 1975. But we do have a little frontal system on the way, and I'll be talking about that when we come back.
saying feeling happy is just as important as staying healthy if you want to live longer. Researchers studied more than 8,000 people over the age of 60 and found that 1 in 4 improved both their health and happiness in just 3 years. The biggest helpers were good friends, a positive attitude, and healthy habits. Experts say it's important to take care of your body and your mind, and this study could change how people think about growing older. Millions of people who rely on food stamps and family aid through federal programs could be at risk of losing assistance during the government shutdown. That's because funding was cut off on September 30th. As Jen Sullivan reports, these crucial programs are now relying on reserve funds until the government passes a new spending bill.
This is baby Zave. He's now 1.5 and thriving. But his mom, Ashley Vasquez, says that wasn't always the case.
He just didn't have an appetite and he wasn't putting on weight.
Zave was put on special nutritional drinks that his family received through WIC, federal-funded program for women, infants, and children. It provides aid to more than 6 million low-income families to help cover expenses for food, breastfeeding support, and health education. But that money could soon be at risk if the government shutdown continues.
For really young children whose sole source of nutrition may be infant formula, the loss of WIC would be absolutely devastating because their families don't have other options.
Neil Menifee-Leiby with the National WIC Association says if the government doesn't pass a spending bill within the next 2 weeks, funding will likely run out.
That really puts us in a crisis point very quickly.
Funding for other assistance programs like the Supplemental Nutrition Assistance Program known as SNAP could also be at risk. Roughly 42 million people depend on SNAP to help cover groceries. October's benefits were already sent out, but come November 1st, it's unclear whether people will receive assistance as politicians continue to debate.
Republicans refuse to extend the Affordable Care Act tax credit.
This is not about health care. This is about Democrats wanting to show their progressive left base that they are fighting against Donald Trump.
Meanwhile, it leaves vulnerable parents like Ashley Vasquez unsure how they're going to pay for their families. I'm Jen Sullivan reporting.
California Governor Gavin Newsom says President Donald Trump has ordered 300 members of California's National Guard to Oregon. A federal judge has temporarily blocked President Trump's plan to send Oregon's National Guard to Portland. The administration says the Guard is needed to protect ICE agents, but the judge sided with state attorneys who argued the protests weren't violent enough to justify military help. The White House hasn't commented, but the Trump administration plans to appeal. And California's governor says he'll sue to stop his state's troops from being deployed. Now to the Mideast in hopes for the release of hostages in Gaza in just days. ABC's News chief foreign correspondent Ian Pennell is live in Jerusalem with the latest overnight.
This morning, Israel and Hamas prepare for talks to try to end the war in Gaza. President Trump saying Israel has agreed to a partial withdrawal of troops. Writing online, when Hamas confirms the ceasefire will be immediately effective, the hostages and prisoner exchange will begin and will create the conditions for the next phase of withdrawal, warning earlier that he'll not tolerate delay from Hamas. Israeli Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu addressing the nation, saying he hopes to announce the release of all remaining hostages from Gaza in the coming days. Overnight, more than 100,000 demonstrators gathering in Tel Aviv with a simple, forceful message. It's now or never.
We cannot let another deal collapse.
Hamas has agreed in principle to release all the remaining hostages, alive or dead, though adding it'd only free them if there are proper field conditions, saying they're ready to negotiate the details. But while Hamas has agreed to some of Trump's 20-point proposal, there's been no mention of the group disarming, as the president demanded, and there are questions about just how that would happen and who'd oversee it. Meanwhile, in Gaza, despite President Trump calling for Israel to stop its bombing and Netanyahu instructing the Israeli military to hold all offensive operations, dozens killed in Israeli strikes Saturday, according to the Hamas-run health ministry. Palestinians there reacting to the possibility of this war finally ending. I hope Hamas ends this war, this man says, because we're truly tired. The war has left nothing for us.
Experience our digital streaming service Crossroads Today Plus. Stream our daily newscasts and much more using your connected TV. Just download Crossroads Today Plus on your Roku, Amazon Fire TV, Apple TV, or Android TV. Search Crossroads Today Plus.
Well, when we come back, we still got rain chances in our forecast, and I'll be talking about that. Well, welcome back, Crossroads. We had that mid-upper level low that looked a bit tropical, and it's still moving up towards the Louisiana coastline there. But you can see right here, we got a little bit of a warm front associated with it. Unfortunately, we didn't really see the shower activity that we saw there in Victoria for today. It actually went down a little bit farther south into the Corpus Christi, Nueces County region there. But as we continue to move through the day tomorrow into Tuesday, we start to see that system begin to continue to move up northward there and continue to bring in some more shower activity. And there's that warm front line right there for Tuesday morning. And so we'll likely see some shower activity for the day as well on Tuesday, about 20%. But let's take a closer look for Monday, because I know that's for tomorrow. At 6 a.m., we still are going to be seeing some pop-up little showers there as we get a little bit of a wave to move on shore here by 10 a.m. with some more spotty activity, and it'll continue here till 1 p.m. and continue to push up more northward. I mentioned yesterday that we'll likely see better rain chances for Cuero up there by 5 p.m. here on Monday, and that's definitely what this future tracker is showing for that. But once that low pressure moves on out of here, high pressure is set to come back and build up once again here over the region there, and it's going to be sitting for quite some time. But then we do see a bit of a dip here in the jet stream as we head into Thursday. Start to already see it as the high pressure begins to strengthen over Texas. And well, there's the little dip there just east of Texas there, and that's going to help bring in some drier air for us, because we desperately need some drier air, because we're going to be dealing with triple-digit feels like temperatures for the next 3 days there, because that southeasterly flow, we got a warm front. It's going to be feeling a bit warmer, but then we drop back down into the mid to low 90s for the weekend, and it'll actually bring in some those cooler mornings that we've actually been honestly enjoying. I've been actually enjoying that, but it's starting to get a little bit hot and humid. But we do have that moon coming up here also on the 6th and the 7th, the Hunter's moon. That's kind of been affecting the coastline here just a little bit. We've had some coastal flood advisories issued, and with that mid-upper level lows bringing in some stronger winds, it's kind of brought up the tide a little bit high there over the region. So the 6th and the 7th, that's when you can get a chance to see the supermoon at full capacity, would be about 14% bigger. But let's talk about the tropics. I know we had that little system right now, but there's this area right here in the Atlantic, 70% chance of development over the next 7 days, over the next 5 days. It's got a 50%. We're going to continue to track it as it continues heading towards the Caribbean. And, well, we still have that 0% chance for formation within that mid-upper level low. We could continually talk about there. It has shifted a little bit more northward. It's now more in the Louisiana territory. So, like I said, the rain chances were going to start diminishing because of the activity, but it is bringing a warm front, which is good. And it'll kind of help bring in a couple showers here over the area tomorrow as well as Tuesday. Hurricane Octave, 80-mile-per-hour winds right now. It'll be shifting out towards the east. And we also now have Hurricane Priscilla, who was a tropical storm yesterday, now blowing at about 75 miles per hour, looking like to get Category 2 strength over the region there. And we'll go ahead and talk about the daily planner. Mostly sunny skies, partly cloudy skies, 20% chance for some rain at 90 degrees. East-southeasterly winds will be picking up there, especially along the coastline. Cuero got that 20% as well as Port Lavaca. We're likely going to be a little bit windier down there with more shower activity through the morning. So 20% tomorrow, Tuesday and Wednesday. Got the frontal system / dry boundary layer moving in here Wednesday, Thursday. So working out the time frame for that. But look at that, 65 there Saturday morning. That'll be quite nice. Now don't forget to scan the QR code for more news, weather, and sports. And speaking of sports, we got Ray.
Thank you, Jacob. Taking a break from the football and talking cross country. See how things are going for the St. Joseph High School cross country team and more coming up in sports. Fall sports this season is lighting up the Crossroads with plenty of excitement. Beyond the thrill of high school football and volleyball, cross country is quickly becoming a favorite among local athletes. 25 News Now sports director Max Williams swung by St. Joseph High School to catch the latest on their recent wins and what's fueling their momentum.
We started our Junior Flyer program only about 4 years ago. I started it up because I noticed that there was a great deal of interest amongst the middle schoolers and junior high students of getting into distance running.
Tune into the 10 p.m. newscast where we'll hear more from St. Joseph Flyers about their remarkable performances this season. We'll catch up with standout athletes like Blaine McCamey, Steve Jones, Sonny Taylor, and Cecilia Oliveira. And great vibes are coming out of College Station. The Aggies are now rocking a top 5 spot in the nation after knocking off Mississippi State last night. And a few more surprise wins. They climbed up a notch from last week and even moved up a position past my Oklahoma Sooners. But Crossroads, can they keep this wave rolling? We've seen before how the Aggies can start on fire but cool off as the season goes on. Next up, they're facing the Florida Gators, who are hungry to beat another top 10 team that just so happens to come from Texas. So Aggies fans, is this streak for real or is this just a lucky streak? We'll see next week. But the same couldn't be said for the Longhorns side lately. After losing their second game of the season, Texas now finds itself unranked following an upset loss to the Florida Gators, as I just mentioned. Fingers are pointing at Arch Manning. This was his first road start in a conference game, and he threw 2 interceptions alongside 2 touchdowns. There's definitely work to be done to regain the trust. The Longhorns will need to climb their way back up to the top 25, and the upcoming Red River rivalry game is a perfect chance facing a top 10 Oklahoma team. And some about them Sooners, they're just so good, you know, best defensive team in the nation, but a win for them could do wonders for Texas. And in some national sports, the Dallas Cowboys took on the New York Jets, and it was a great showing for the Cowboys on the road today as Javonte Williams explodes through the middle of the Jets defense and makes his way to a 1st and goal. A push to the outside stopped a touchdown on that play, but that stop was only temporary because the following play sees Prescott dump it off to Jake Ferguson for a Cowboy touchdown. Dak finished with 237 yards throwing and 4 touchdowns. The Cowboys go on to win this game in a convincing fashion. Final score 37-22. And the Houston Texans were also showcased on the road today. They took on the Baltimore Ravens, and their first drive was a successful one after completing a 1st and goal. C.J. Stroud then fakes it and throws it to Xavier Hutchinson for the first touchdown of the game. The Texans had their way with the Ravens, and they did play without Lamar Jackson. Stroud finished with 244 yards and 4 touchdowns as well. The Texans get their 2nd win of the season. They'll play the Seahawks on the 20th. Next week is their bye week. But that does it for your sports. Amaya.
Thank you, Ray. Book lovers, this one is for you. Why Sunday's National Bookshop Day is the perfect excuse to grab a new read and support your local shop. Coming up. Sunday brings an occasion for all of you proud bookworms out there. It's National Bookshop Day. The celebration started across the pond in England. It's a time to kick off the fall book selling seasons and the release of new books ahead of the holidays. It's also a good day for bookshop owners to host parties, book signings, and other events at their stores. According to nationaltoday.com, upwards of 1,000 bookshops nationwide participate in Bookshop Day. Wow.
Very interesting.
You know, I don't know if they have I don't know if y'all know the shop called Barnes & Nobles. Yeah. Oh, I don't know if they have that up here or around here.
I don't
closer.
think they do. I think
closer.
Yeah, I don't believe so.
Yeah.
So, you know, do you guys love reading books?
Typically, depends on the book, to be honest with you. More of a Bible reader myself.
I am more of a Bible reader. That's my book.
Yeah, I'm reading a good book. It's about a woman going through a divorce and she's like finding her way across life and stuff. So I read a book every now and then.
Okay.
It's actually good. It's actually a good book.
Let's go to weather.
Yeah. Well, it's going to be some decent book weather reading possibly here for the weekend in the morning time, specifically 65 in the morning. But we do have 20% chance for some rain until this dry frontal system moves through the region. Still unsure with the timing, but something that we are going to continue to forecast.
Yes, but thank you for joining us. We hope you be with us tonight for 5 News Now Weekends at 10. See you.